I'm now going to wrap my frame here, and that's basically going to be the colour that's framing your whole artwork. So you'll need to choose a colour that is part of your plan, so your design, whatever colour you had on the outer edge might be the colour that you choose. So this is my plan for my colour scheme, and I know I want to end up with a darker colour on the outside, a blue or a bluey purple on the outside. So I'm choosing a navy to frame my artwork. Or you might choose a colour that's going to pick up a colour that you've got inside your artwork. Okay, now for this you'll need to choose a bigger ball of yarn, piece of yarn, not a small piece like this. So you're going to need quite a large amount of yarn to go all the way around your frame. So you're going to make sure that this cross, the back side, is where your knot lies. So I'm going to tie my first knot. I'm going to tie a reef knot. So right over left, tuck it under through the hole, pull it tight, now left over right, pull it through the hole and pull it tight. And I want this to be nice and firm. Okay, so I want that piece to stay out of the way because I'm going to use that later to tie the other end to this. Okay, so now I'm just going to wind round and around my frame, and I want to keep some tension. I want it to be tight. I don't want it to be baggy and loose like this. I also want each piece of yarn here to lay beside the other one with no gaps and no overlap. So it's just going to go around and around like this with no gaps and no overlap. So keep pushing it up close. It's not overlapping like this. It's lying alongside it. They are lying parallel to each other, each piece of yarn. And just keep going around until you have wrapped your frame. When you get to this pipe cleaner, I want you to come up as close to this as you can and then go on to the other side. And so I'm going to actually squeeze that in there. Then I'm just going to pull that over to the other side and I'm going to go around it here. I'm keeping some tension and I'm keeping it tight. Keep pushing it along. Just keep this tail out of the way and come in as tightly as you can. You want to close the gaps. So you're basically trying to hide as much of the frame as possible. Okay, when you think you've closed those gaps reasonably well, just take your yarn, snip it off with about a 10 centimetre tail, and then we're going to tie another reef knot. Okay, so right over left, bring it around and through the hole, pull it tight. Now left goes over right, left over right. Put the tail under and up through the hole and pull it tight. Now I did run out of yarn, so I had to do an extra knot back here. That's my beautiful, oops, the yarn's slightly different here than it is around here, and that's okay. And any of these little gaps here, I'm going to wriggle and push them together later on after we've put our warp thread in. Okay, so now we're ready to put our warp thread in there.